Let's get into some half double crochet and double crochet. In the previous videos, we covered yarns and hooks, and then we've covered slip knot, chaining, and single crochet, and now we're going to go into the half double crochet and double crochet. After this, you can create anything you want, truly. Just learning these stitches, you can create garments, scarves, blankets, amigurumi, dishcloths, whatever you desire. These are the foundation to all crochet projects, and even if you want to learn more complex stitches, they usually utilize these basic foundation stitches. So we will briefly go over single crochet again just for comparison's sake with the half double crochet and double crochet, and I want to show you that real quick. I did this in chunky yarn because again you can see the stitches better in this chunkier yarn. So I've done single crochet here, I've done a chain, and then I did single crochet across, chain one, single crochet across, chain one, and then here I wanted to show you I didn't chain one, I just went ahead and did a single crochet row, and that was just to show you what happens. You can see this bump out from the previous chain one into this row, and you can see the bump out chain one to this row. So these loops are those chains. Here you don't see that, it's a straight edge. And so either way is okay, just to be consistent with your project, because as you can see, it lines up here because I chained one on this side, but this does not line up because I did not chain one on this side. So if you're going to do a border, it doesn't matter, but if you're not, just keep in mind that you can get an even edge if you chain one consistently, but you don't get this little bump if you just don't chain and you just lift your stitch. And I'll show that in a later video, how to do that and how to get those straight edges in projects. The next one is half double crochet, so you can see by comparison how that varies. This is single crochet, this is the top of that single crochet stitch, and then that is the top of the half double crochet stitch. So you can see it's about 1.5 times bigger. It comes between these two. And then we have double crochet, which you can compare to the single crochet, and you can, as you can see, this is one single crochet row and this is a second, and this one double crochet is the height of two single crochets. So single, double. And again here, I've chained, I did a double crochet, I chained two, I did double crochet row, chain two, double crochet row, and then here I did not chain, and you can see it pulls here. So just something to consider. The double crochet, you truly need that chain to lift you up to that next row. And you can see that it still lays straight, and this actually makes it curve this way, which can then cause some unevenness in your project later on. In the half double crochet, you can do it multiple ways. You can do, here I did a chain, and then I went into half double crochet. I did a chain here, and then did half double crochet. So I did a chain one, half double crochet row. Here I did a chain two and half double crochet row. So you can see the difference. This kind of pops out a little more than this. This keeps it straight. And then here I didn't do any chain, and I just went directly into a half double crochet, and you can kind of see how that affects, that kind of leans over too much. So I think half double crochet, a chain one is kind of a sweet spot, and it keeps this straight. And again, be consistent, because this you'll start having your project become narrower and wider depending on whether you've chained, and that's how you can really tell. So it's good to mark your first and last stitches of a row, so you can first make sure you get into them, and if it starts looking like this, that might mean you forgot to chain one, or you put an extra chain depending on and if it's wider or narrower. All right, so let's get into it. Let's briefly do single crochet and then we'll move on to the other stitches. I am using a medium weight, worsted weight acrylic yarn, and I'm using a 5mm crochet hook, which is an H8 if you're going by the US sizing. All right, I'm going to get you in a little closer. All right, let's create our slip stitch. So simply turn over there, turn over there, pull that out, slip stitch. Make sure it glides across that crochet hook because that should be the size of your stitch. And now let's chain out 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For single crochet, we're going to go into that second loop from the hook right there. It's 1, it's 2, and single crochet. That's yarn over, pull through with 2 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 single crochet. Then we go into the next chain loop, which is right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Another single crochet. Next chain hook, chain loop, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Next chain, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And keep doing that all the way down. And then make sure you don't forget that this one next to your knot. And so if you were counting, you'll have 9 if you chained out 10, because remember we went second chain from the hook, which means we lost 1 basically. So if you chain out 10 and you don't do an extra chain at the end, then you're going to have 9. So in patterns, you might see 10 plus 1, which means they want you to have 10 stitches in your project going across. So that plus 1 is an extra chain, so it accounts for the 1 you'll lose in your count. Okay, now if you remember, we turn around because we go right to left. So yarn over to chain 1, turn. So the best way to turn is you just turn clockwise. And then remember these V's at the top of your single crochet. So your first single crochet again is going to go into the second chain from the loop. So the loop on the crochet hook doesn't count, and you go 1, 2, and you work through both loops So get under both loops, yarn over, and pull through. You have 2 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 single crochet on top of a single crochet. Go into this next one there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You can easily see these spaces that you're needing to work into, or you can look from above and make sure you're getting under both loops. So kind of check both when you're starting. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Space right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Don't forget your very last one. You can see this bump out, so you can, if you're not marking it, I currently don't have stitch markers because I have too many projects going on right now and I have used all of them. Yarn over, pull through, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've done a single crochet over another single crochet row. And then you can keep going, yarn over, chain 1, or don't chain 1. So that's what I was talking about. That's the chain 1, but if you don't want to chain 1 and you want a straighter edge, just don't leave it at that last stitch. Turn, go into that first space. So it'll be the first loop from the hook, not the second, and go directly in there and single crochet. Continue to single crochet across until you're at the end again. So hopefully, see how you can see that little bump there when we chained, and here there's no bump. So everything I wanted to show you, so I'll kind of show you from the end of this row going over. Our last stitch, single crochet, we'll turn over and then just slightly lift this, and that way that makes up for that chain 1 you're not doing, and then do your single crochet. So it won't, you know, kind of lean over too much, and it'll provide that straight edge. If you stick around to the end, I will show you the project I'm currently working on, which really will demonstrate how a chain 1 and no chain makes a huge difference in a project, especially when you're not going to do a border. Okay, let's move on to half double crochet. I have just another worsted weight number 4 medium weight acrylic yarn ball here. So half double crochet, we'll start the same way. This is just the loop. I guess I should be consistent for the loop for my slip knot. loose enough. Chain out 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's your chain. Just like when we do with single crochet, we're going to go under that top loop of the chain. With single crochet, we worked into the second loop from the crochet hook. So the one on the crochet hook doesn't count, and then we went 1, 2. With half double crochet, since it's 1.5 times bigger than the single crochet, we'll do 3. So 1, 2, 3, and you'll go into there. With the half double crochet, you yarn over first before going into your chain, and then you go into that third one from the hook, pull through the yarn, and you'll have 3 loops on the crochet hook. With single crochet, you have 2. With half double crochet, you'll have 3. And then you'll yarn over and you'll pull through all 3. It might be hard to go through all 3 all at once to begin with, so you can do 1, 2, 3. And once you get the hang of it, you can do all 3 together. Let's do that again. Yarn over, go through the next chain right there. Yarn over, pull through the yarn. You have 3 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. 1, 2, and 3. Do it again. Yarn over. Let me bring you a little closer. Go through the next chain. Yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 of those. Don't do that. Yarn over, go through the next. Yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over. So remember, put your crochet hook facing down when you poke through. Grab that yarn, pull it through. Then your hook is facing up. Yarn over. Turn your hook downwards to grab that yarn through all 3, and then lift up so you don't lose grip of that yarn. And make sure that stitch is the width, this part of the hook, that's your chain, your stitch width. Okay, again, yarn over, next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. To that knot, so we're done. So the last, in the single crochet, we chained 10, and then we had 9 stitches across because we went to the second chain from the hook. In the half double crochet, we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because we went into the third chain from the hook on a chain of 10. Same with the single crochet. You yarn over and chain 1 at the end, turn, yarn over, and then get into that first space. Again, make sure you go through both loops. The top of the half double crochet will look the same. You'll see the bees. Make sure you go through both loops of the bee, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. yarn over, next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three. Keep going. Yarn over into the space, thread loop beneath both loops of the V, pull through, yarn over, pull through all three. Yarn over, into the loop, the space, under both loops of the V, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through all three. And keep going to the end. Make sure you get that last loop, and you can get your orientation because you can see that the previous V will be inside there. And so that's your V you want to get into. So yarn over, get under both those loops, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through all three. So in the previous row, I did a chain 1, but sometimes you'll be told to do a chain 2 for half double, and that just means chain 1 and chain 2. And then turn this way like you're turning a book, and work right to left again. So yarn over, go into that first loop, first space, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Do as I say, guys. Yarn over, go through both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, next space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. I'm just going to finish this row real quick, and then we can move on to double crochet. Keep practicing this until you do move on to the next stitch, because when I started out, I would get very confused between the half double and double. Again, last stitch, to get your orientation, look for that V. Yarn over, get under that V, through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3. And there you go. If you're ever want to come back to a project later, you just stick your stitch marker there, and it'll essentially just lock it there and your project's not going anywhere. If you make a mistake, hold where you last, the last stitch you did properly, and then just pull back like this until you reach that stitch you're holding. Or you can, the safest way would be, stick your crochet hook into the loop that you want to go to and pull through, and then it won't pull it out. And then you can just continue on with your project. So that's called frogging, and it's simply because when you take out your stitches, you rip it, rip it, rip it, rip it, rip it, rip it, frog it. That's all that means. But remember, yarn has a memory, so you'll notice that if you have a finished project and you didn't undo it until maybe weeks, months later, that yarn has settled into that shape, and it won't quite look the same when you reuse it. So just to keep in mind, especially with more fragile yarns. Okay, so that's our half double crochet. We can compare that to our single crochet here. And you can kind of tell right here, see the difference in the height of that stitch. Put it on top. You can tell. And then you can also tell by the height of the single crochet compared to this height of the half double. All right, let's move on to double crochet. Again, I'm just using a medium weight acrylic yarn and still using the 5mm hook. I'm using an inline hook in case you're wondering. All right, we're going to start the same way. I'm going to create our slip knot again, turn and turn again, and then pull out that loop, hold your tails, and there's your slip knot. Stick your hook in there, tighten it up, make sure you can slide your crochet hook, and we're going to again chain 10. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's your chain. I'm going to move you closer. So with the single crochet and half double crochet we worked into that top loop, we're going to do the same with a double crochet. In the single crochet we worked from the 1, 2, second chain from the loop. Half double we worked in the third chain from the loop. Double, we're going to go into the fourth chain from the loop right there. So the loop on the crochet hook does not count. And then we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Just like in half double crochet, you will yarn over first before going into your chain. Then we go 1, 2, 3, fourth chain from the hook, and put our crochet hook into there, yarn over, pull through. Just like in double crochet, you have 3 loops on your crochet hook. The double is we're going to pull through twice. So yarn over, pull through just 2 loops, and you have 2 loops remaining on your crochet hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops, and that's a double crochet. So it's essentially doing the single twice. And you can see how much taller that is. Again, yarn over, go into that next chain, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Yarn over, go through that next chain right there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Yarn over, go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through the work. You'll have these 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2. doing that to the end. Into space, through, through, and over, through the last two. That's what the double crochet looks like. And just compare it to your single crochet. So remember, this is 2 rows. And those 2 rows of single crochet are the same as this double crochet row. So it is double the single. And if we line up with the half double, you can see that's 1 stitch, and it does about a little more than a half double. All right, same with the other stitches at the end. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we started with a chain 10, we went into the 4th chain from the loop. So we lost 3. Just like in single crochet, we went to the 2nd from the loop, we lost 1 and went down to 9 stitches. Half double, we went to the 3rd and went down by 2 and had 8 stitches. In the double crochet, we went into the 4th, and so we're down to 7. So again, it's just easier to mark your first and last stitches so you don't lose your space. But if you know how much you chained out initially, then you know how many stitches you should have if you mess up in a project, or if you know how many stitches you have in a project, then you know how much you had chained before. So again, you yarn over chain 1 and then you yarn over chain 2, because this is a double crochet and we need to climb up to the next row to the height we need for that double crochet stitch. And then turn it like a book. Crochet hook and turn it like a book. And then we're going to work just into the spaces. 1, 2, 3. Some projects, if they tell you to work into this, not the stitch space, but the spaces between stitches, they're talking about that. Just so you know, that confused me a lot. But if it just says double crochet, they're talking about just that first space. So again, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through just 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, yarn over, go into the next space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again. Keep going. I'm going to quickly go to the end. Okay, we're 3 from the end, so I'm going to work through that space, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into your next one, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. As you can see, all my yarns have become entangled with each other. Thankfully, they're different colors. Look into the next space, which is our last space. Make sure you're under both loops of the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And there's your 2 rows of double crochet. Again, you'll chain 2, 1, 2, turn like a book, and then you'll work into that first space. Look for that first space and go in there. 1, 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into that next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, put it through the work, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You're under both loops. One, and the half double crochets are also very easy to count without looking, so you can look for the top V's if you want, but just counting these bars, these stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no, you have the right count. Don't count the chain 2. That's again your little ladder to climb to that row. When I started crocheting, I had to get a book. There was no YouTube or any kind of online video, and the books would vary. Some would say first the chain counts as a stitch, others say they don't. Automatically now they do not, unless stated specifically that it will specifically count as a stitch. So just be wary of that. In general, just don't count that chaining as a stitch, and because of that, you don't necessarily have to chain for the single crochet. So again, let's compare our little samples. And so hopefully you can tell, by comparing it where these bars fall across. The difference between your stitches. And then I feel like this chunky yarn really lets you examine those stitches more closely. So just kind of take a moment to look all that, get an idea of how to, kind of see your stitches. You can see in this, so when you pull through a single crochet, you're pulling through the 2 loops on the hook, and that's what these 2 bars are. That 1 and 2. 1, 2. When you do a half double crochet, you're pulling through all 3, and that's what these 3 are. Just remember it that way. I just remember it makes this kind of bird claw shape, and that's how I know it's a half double crochet that I have. In your double crochet, you're creating 4 of these. So you're creating 2 single crochet essentially. And so you'll have 4 of these bars in the front. And so that's how you can tell the difference among these stitches. So you go like this, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay, so I said I would show you the project I'm working on. Here it is. So this is kind of an example on, I just wanted to show you. If you're wondering why there's so many different colors, I love this Premier chenille yarn and I just wanted to get all the colors. So I did, and I have about 1 skein of some, 2, 3 skeins of others. So I kind of change color based on my mood for the day. So as you can see, my mood has varied over the last couple of weeks. But when I was first learning, this is a single crochet herringbone stitch. So I did my chain row, and then I would chain 1, go on to my next row, chain, you can see the little bump outs of my chaining, right? So I did that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 rows until I thought, what if I don't chain 1? And can you see where that chain? You can see these chains, and then I didn't chain. Look how straight that is. And look how crazy this is. So that's just something to think about, especially if you're doing a single crochet. Look how nice this edge is. Get some light. And see this edge, so nice. And so you don't need a border at the end, because I was thinking, how am I going to do a border with chunky yarn? And if it would all look like this, it looks like an unfinished edge. Sometimes fine with chenille, but I feel like this would need a border, and this does not. So I did think about frogging, and it's not the work that prevented me from doing it. It was, I didn't want to mess up this yarn. Again, yarn has memory, and chenille yarn, you know, you're just kind of pulling and fracturing this little chenille, and it'll tear it up. It doesn't matter how good of a quality it is. I mean, think of a chenille sweater. If someone just rubbed over it over and over again harshly, that's what you're doing when you're frogging. If you, especially frogging 20 rows, there's, you know, it would take forever to do that gently. So anyway, this is just a lesson. Chaining, no chaining. Chain 1, no chain. So it doesn't matter if you're putting a border, but look how nice that is. Wouldn't need any type of border. And I don't know if I'm going to do a border, because this blanket is essentially for me or my dog, really. I bet he'll steal it. So I'm just going to fold this back up, but I hope now that you can gain some confidence in your crocheting, and we can move on to even stitches like this eventually. And this, I'll probably put this pattern in a future video, because I'm loving it more and more each day. I add rows to it. But our first few projects will be reviewing these single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, and we'll create patterns and projects with just 1 to 2 stitches, and that'll show you that the stitches are truly versatile on their own. So keep practicing these, master these, create swatches from them, and then we will make some projects. Thank you for watching.